Will, we're coming to the end of this trip out here in Spain. How's it been for you and your coaches?
Yeah, really good. In a way that you just get to spend so much time with everyone, whether that be staff, whether that be players, or even sort of people around the team itself. But you also get a real opportunity to work like intense sort of stuff and on a regular basis. And you're just sort of in in your own cocoon. You can do a lot of things, talk about a lot of detail. So it's always useful getting away. And we've tried to make the most of sort of every opportunity that we did have to work and every opportunity that we had to get the lads on the pitch. And balancing that out with making sure we're fresh, making sure we're physically at a point where we want to be after sort of 4 weeks of pre-season. So it's been good, it's been interesting, but on the whole it's been really positive.
Bit ironic this now as we sit in the full glare of the sun, but was it nice to have a bit of respite with the rain?
Yeah, ginger hair doesn't go very well with full heat. But no, all the conditions have been really good. Whether it be the hotel that we've been in, the pitches, the little stadium we played at on Wednesday. We don't want to find excuses. We don't want to have anything to moan about. And to be fair, everything's been really good. So credit to the people that have sort of set it up, organised it, because it's been spot on, and it's allowed us to take another few steps in the direction that we're trying to go in.
You mentioned this briefly, but how important are trips like this for bringing everyone together and creating an environment of togetherness that will be so important for such a long season that we have coming up?
It's crucial. You want to create a team. You want to create a bit more than a team even, because we're gonna spend more time together than we do with our own families, which I know my wife isn't best pleased about, but that's just part of the job. So we need to find or create an environment where everyone feels comfortable, where everyone feels good about themselves, but also not overload everyone the whole time and be too intense. So it's getting that balance right, and it's also I'm new. Part of the coaching staff is new. We've got a few new players in. It's also giving us the time and the space to get used to how people work, how people are, how people behave on and off the pitch, what the medical staff needs, what the logistics need. So it's just having time together and time to sort of process and get through all those little details, because those details do have a massive impact further down the line. So yeah, it's been, I know I use the word interesting a lot, but it is, you do get to know people, you do get to understand why certain things happen the way they do, why certain things have happened the way they did, and hopefully build a structure and a place where everyone is happy and wants to be, which I'm pretty sure will help us win games, or I hope it will help us win games further down the line.
Yeah, as you say, it's most important for those who are new to the group, not just yourselves and the coaches, but the likes of Damien, the likes of Josh, and the youngsters that are coming up. How have they settled in this week?
Really well, really well, and quickly as well. I think, we've got Dylan Moody with us, who's been, very good in goal in the training sessions. We've had Moses, who played, more than a half on Wednesday, and probably get a few more minutes. They've done really well, and they're ambitious. They bring this sort of fresh energy. They bring this desire and this hunger to prove themselves to the fans, to their teammates, and it just creates a nice environment and energy for everyone, and that's what we want as well. We want to sort of wipe away what happened and that sort of trauma, and then being here, then bringing that sort of freshness to everything, and added to ours just helps do that in a sort of smooth fashion.
And in your coach's office, you've got a few new names as well, people you haven't worked with before, people you have worked with before. How's that dynamic played out this week?
It's been dead easy, to be honest. I'd had trolls on the phone yeah, a fair few number of times before we came in, and I was on holiday when I first spoke to him, and I was just like, I was with my wife, and it was like, that's going to work. It's a gut feeling of he's good. He's got the right intentions. He's got the experience obviously of getting out of the league a good number of times, but he's also just a good person. So that's brilliant. And then I've seen his qualities on the pitch, and you just sort of think, okay, yeah, we're going in the right direction. We've got the right people in the right place. And the same goes for for Carl and for Ads who are already here. Again, had a good chat with them, and it just felt right. So it was like, let's do it. Let's go for it. And Clem, Ruben, who I've worked with in the past, I knew were going to settle in easily because they're like me. They're cultural. They've seen different things. They've seen different places, and also just want to help and want to be there for the team and for other people around them. And it goes for the whole staff. Tom, head of performance, has been great. It's so easy to work with him because everyone's very open-minded and wants to improve and wants to get the team where it deserves to be. So no, on the whole, it's really, really, really good.
Stepping back just slightly, how are you going to reflect on this first change in your chapter of your coaching career so far, coming to English football and learning the ropes over here?
First impressions is it's very weird only doing it in English. And I realised that I've been abroad for for my whole life, because you don't always get the right words out or the right timing of them. But it puts me sometimes out of my comfort zone, which is what I wanted to do, because I think that's where I get the best out of myself and I get the best out of other people around me. There are little cultural things that you notice and pick up on that aren't the same in France or in Belgium, but it's good fun because you can laugh about it, and the players realise that I am different. I'm not totally 100% English either. But what would I pick up? I think that the little cultural differences. But I'm away from that on the pitch. I love football and I always will love football. And the quality of players that we do have it just helps that, because you want to give back to them and they give back to you, so it creates this dynamic where you keep pushing each other and you keep trying to be as competitive as we can be. So yeah, no, it's cultural, I think.
Yeah, and with those cultural sides, does that really prove how important the likes of Ads and Trolls are to not only the team's development, but maybe yourself as development as a coach over here?
No, 100%, 100%. I don't have all the answers. I haven't seen it all, haven't been through it all. I don't think anyone has. And I'm pretty open and honest about that. I want the players to make mistakes. I want them to try. I want them to fail. I want to have the personality and the sort of strength of character to do it again. Get it wrong once, do it again. Get it wrong twice, do it again. And then, you pick up and learn from that, because I do the same. I'm not going to get every team selection right. I'm not going to get, every game plan, spot on or the way I would like it to, because oppositions change, game scenarios change, referees dictate quite a bit of things, and I can pick up from everything and everyone, and I already have, whether that be on the pitch or off the pitch, about football or not about football, and I just want to keep that sort of open-mindedness to everyone and everything. And you do, you talk about football, you talk about life, you talk about everything really in these camps, and that just helps you improve. And I think everyone has noticed that, and we want to encourage it as well.
And of course, everything in these camps leads to the action on the pitch. We've had 2 games out here, 3 games at base before we came out, and then obviously got the Brighton one when we return. How important have these games been, and what have you noticed in these early games?
The eagerness to improve, the eagerness to learn, the eagerness to do something not slightly different but almost completely different, And the more the games have gone on, the better it's been. I know it's easy to say we don't look at results, but I always do, because you want to win, and it just sets the right energy off. So we've done okay in terms of results, and it's getting the team into an area where everyone feels quietly comfortable and confident about going into a new season. And games are just useful because you want the mistakes to happen now, and that's why we encourage them. That's why we want them to sort of step outside their comfort zones and do something different and try something different. And the time that we get on the pitch here is the time that we need almost to correct all those little details. So yeah, the mix of training and games has been, I'd say, vital to sort of keep people ticking, keeping the team learning, and everyone pointing in the same direction, but also the direction that we want to go in. And that's where we're at, I think.
It's less than 2 weeks till the first championship game. That's come around quick, hasn't it?
It's really quick. I got the impression that my last game in France was only sort of last week. But no, the championship is coming, and it's coming quickly. We've still got a fair few things to do, whether that be on the pitch or off the pitch. But like I've said since from the start, we will be as ready as we can be on that first game, and we will be ready when we need to be ready further down the line. Whether that be with the squad, with the playing style, with the identity that we want to have on and off the pitch. And Rome wasn't built in a day. Southampton, or the new Southampton, won't be ticking from the get-go. But I think that's what we want also, because we want to keep improving. We want to keep learning. New players come in, other players will be going out, and that's, as a very famous person would say, that's football.
When you look at the league and the business being done this summer, obviously another very busy transfer window across the board, how do you assess your competitors and the competition?
I think we're already competitive. I think everyone at the club realises that we can get even more competitive, and that there are probably adjustments or little tweaks that are going to be needed for the long term. But everyone that's been in and around the squad from the get-go has been positive, has been open, has been communication has been quite easy. And when if players do need to move on, then we'll be open and honest about that. And we do need to add the odd player here and there. But what's been the most positive is that everyone's aligned on it. Whether it be from the staff to the players, to the board, and to the owners. I think that's just a flat line, and everyone is aligned on it. So that's obviously a massive positive, and quite encouraging for the weeks and the months to come.
And just lastly, I want to bring it back to our next game, which will be at St Mary's. Your first time in front of the fans as manager. How much are you looking forward to that?
No, buzzing. I can't wait. I think that's why we do all this stuff. Pre-season is interesting, and it's you learn a lot, but the competition's what you really want, and the playing in front of fans is a million times better than playing behind closed doors and playing where no one can really watch. Now you can, it's the first opportunity to connect with them, it's the first opportunity to see them, and the first opportunity for me to stand in that dugout and really appreciate it, which I hope I do. And we need them. I know it sounds sort of stereotypical and a bit sort of fairy tale like, but that's the actual truth behind it. We need everyone to go in the same direction and to think positive. I know everything's not going to work and everything's not going to be perfect, but if everyone just stays with that mindset of okay, learn from it, keep moving forward, and just stay positive, I think we can get the results that everyone wants. And when you play at home, it needs to become you know, the fortress that everyone talks about. We need to win as many games as we can at home. And if the fans get behind it and understand that, it makes such a difference.